What's up, YouTube? What's up? What's up? Let's see if I can set this down right there. Okay. All right. So, my last video was very brief. Basically, it was me just, letting you all know, pretty much just saying, I was turning my truck in at KLLM, and I said I was gonna drop a video explaining why and what's next, pretty much. The reason why I turned my truck in is not because of anything crazy. I didn't get fired. They didn't terminate my lease. I didn't hit nobody. I didn't do none of that. I didn't do anything wrong. I was not fired or terminated from KLLM. I was in good standing with them. So pretty much I had over a year of clean driving. No tickets, none whatsoever. No accidents. No DOT violations. Any of that. I did my part, as a driver here. I picked up and delivered on time. I communicated exceptionally well with my dispatcher and other people in the company when I needed to communicate with them. I was a professional, I was a professional in pretty much every way possible. I wasn't one of those drivers that would get mad and curse my dispatcher out because I feel like they screwed me around, things like that. Never did that. Never gonna do that. Okay, it's just not how I do business. I'm gonna handle people with respect as long as they handle me with respect. Now, if you get out of line and get disrespectful with me, I have absolutely no problem getting back disrespectful with you. But I don't really have those kind of problems because, respect, a lot of times it's reciprocated. If you give respect, you'll get it back, and vice versa, and so on. So, never had any problems like that with anyone here at KLLM. And I'm going to just give you a fair warning. Hang with me, bear with me on this video. This may be my longest video. It's not going to be like an hour long or something like, some people do. I don't want to make an hour-long video, but it's going to be a little long because I'm going to go into depth about some things and talk about what I got going on now, and phone vibrating, and let you all know where I'm at right now, what's going on. So my thoughts on KLLM and as a company, as an outfit, everything going on. It's a great company. It's a wonderful company. It's not perfect. You've heard me say that on my other videos. It's not perfect. There is no perfect company. Like I said, unless it's your company and you don't have to go to work and you're making a lot of money, that's the perfect company. Other than that, it's a great company. And the lease program, I'll be honest about the lease program. Yes, you can make money in a lease here at KLLM. You can make money, but you can also fail. It's not a guaranteed thing, it's a case-by-case thing, but you can also fail. But from what I understand here at KLLM, the best routes you can go to make money, if you're coming here, and you're going to lease, if you're not afraid to train, try to get yourself in a position to where you can train. Okay, you will make outstanding money. You will make great money. I'm talking about anywhere from a minimum of $2,000. It's just you almost have to want to make $2,000. At a minimum, meaning that you're pretty much going to just turn down loads as a trainer, not run and sit around. So what you're not going to do. You will make, I think, at a minimum from what I've seen. I'll say that from what I've seen and from what I understand, you'll make a minimum of about $2,000, possibly up to about $4,000 to maybe even $4,500 in a week for training, depending on how you're running, your student, and what you got going on. Now you may not make no $4,000 every single week training. You may not do that, but you're going to make very, very good money training here at KLLM if you do decide to be a trainer. You know, you do have to, I think, have at least a year of experience, clean driving, and whatnot. So that's like top tier here in terms of pay. Come on, keep your hands clean, become a trainer. You will make top dollar. Behind that, I would probably have to say if you can land on a Tyson account, you will make pretty good money. You'll make pretty good money on the Tyson account, from what I understand. The people I talk to, you know, they don't. No one complains about the money, from what I know, and the people I've talked to that are on the Tyson account. They all say the money's great money. It's good money being on that account. It's high demand. It's a little different from other accounts here at KLLM. You know, it's different. You know, it's different. It's probably our most different account to be on, because you're pulling, you know, Tyson's trailers and things and whatnot. You'll see them. You'll see a KLLM truck on the road pulling the Tyson trailer. It's different, but from what I understand, the money's good. You know, and then you have your Southeast Regional and BASF and, you know, things like that and whatnot. You know, you got your different accounts. So yeah. Now I'm about to go in depth about my story and take you all into the inner workings of what I did or what I had going on before I came to KLLM. And I'm going to fast forward you up into what I have going on now, what my next step actually is. Okay, before I started at KLLM, no, I was not broke. Okay, I was not broke. I was not, you know, just struggling and in such a bad bind to where, you know, I was punning all my belongings and selling things off. No, I wasn't in that situation, but I most definitely was not where I wanted to be financially. I was not where I wanted to be professionally. Before I came here, I was on, you know, I was coming off of the year before my family and I, we relocated, and we used to live in Louisiana. We relocated for various reasons. It was optional. It was an optional relocation. Nothing happened that forced us to relocate. It's just we made some big decisions and decided to pretty much move back home. Okay, so I started a business. Okay, another business. I still have that business till to this day. I started a business in the summer of 2015. So I took some time off from working and put a lot of time and energy into my business to get it going and running, you know, properly. So I did that. Then I got a job. So I had a job. I was running a business, and I was even taking some classes all at the same time at one time. Ended up backing off of the classes. Business was still going. The job I had, they made some changes, made me part-time, right? Okay, so they made me part-time basically because of some things that took place before I even came there. Okay, it was like some stuff that someone else did like a year before me that like it messed some stuff up. So I worked there for a little full-time. So I was like, okay, I'm not liking this vibe. Okay, so like I said, I was not broke. Had some money saved or whatever, had my business going, you know, things like that. Okay, but I'm gonna be honest. When I started truck driving school, okay, and if you go find my first video, I'll explain all the reasons why I chose KLLM and why, in my opinion, they were the best option, and why even now I still think they're a lot better option than a lot of other companies when it comes down to getting your feet wet, getting your foot in the door in trucking. But when I started, I had $25 in my pocket. Okay, and that was not all the money I had to my name. It was not all the assets or whatever I had to my, but in my pocket, in terms of cash I had with me, I had $25 in my pocket. Okay, now, mind you, the whole time from the day I started trucking to today, I never, I pretty much started with a clean slate. Okay, once I came into trucking, I started with a clean slate financially. So, meaning that I had my money and my assets separated to where basically it's as if I came into it broke. Pretty much. I wasn't broke, but the way I had everything set up, it was almost as if I came into it broke. So I started with $25 in my pocket. That first week I didn't spend much of nothing, So as I progressed in school, I got my $500. I went to training. I got my pay. I got my bonus. I got everything that they told me I would get in terms of pay. It's all great. I'm taking my money. I'm being responsible with it. I'm putting it towards bills. I'm saving. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And in terms of the money I was making, so I started leasing. I was successful in my lease. Did I finish the lease? No. It never was my intention to finish that lease. Never was. Nope. It wasn't. I didn't intend on coming into this lease and, paying $2,000 a month. Well, more than that, really, or whatever, on a truck for the next 5 years. Running, being out 2-3 weeks at a time. Mandatory, just got to be out 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 3 weeks or whatever. It's just I have a family. My life is not set up to live my life like that for an extended period of time. And I play a very key role in my family. So me being gone like forever pretty much never was an option for me. So coming into trucking, coming into this, I knew that it was a sacrifice. Okay, I knew that's what it was. That's why I say, you have to know what you're doing. You have to know what you're going to do. You have to know what you want to do, because there's a lot of stuff in trucking that you do depending on how you move in the trucking industry that leads up to the next step. Some things that you may not think is a big deal can hinder you from taking the next step in your career. Example, let's just say you come to KLLM or you go to any other company, get your CDL. All right, boom, you got your CDL. So let's just say the first sign of trouble, you're all mad, like, oh, they're messing with my miles, they're playing with my money, I ain't making money, all this. And then boom, you leave. Let's just say you leave Swift and go to US Express. Really, at the end of the day, you only traded a red apple for a green apple. Pretty much. Because those, let's just say, that's comparing apples to apples, like a Swift, US Express, Warner, KLLM, Prime. Most of those big companies, Schneider, Schneider's a little different from them, but anyway, it's like them, but Schneider got the low board. That's what put them over the top in a lot of different ways. But it's still a mega carrier like those other companies or whatever. So you are comparing apples to apples with most of those mega carriers. So some of the same issues you'll have at one, it's possible you may have that same issue at the next one, unless it's a small tweak, like you got a particular dispatcher that's giving you a hard time, or it could be some small tweaks. But at the end of the day, the majority of those companies are basically their starter companies. So let's just say within your first year, unless you get lucky and you know someone or get in somewhere sweet or something, but let's just say within your first year you switch jobs once. Okay, cool. You switch jobs once within your first year. Well, that may not hurt you right away per se, but let's just say something happened. Let's say in your first year you get mad. I got a CDL. I can get a job. I'm quitting. Then you quit. you get another job. Well, all right, there's one job change under your belt. Okay, so now you're at your new company, only to find out that at your new company, it's pretty much the same. Like, you run into the same issues. Like, I ain't making the money I thought I'd make, and the miles, home time, blah blah blah, all this. So now you're unhappy again. You're a disgruntled employee once again, and you're contemplating leaving that company. So let's just say you don't even get a chance to leave. Let's just say you mess up and you get in trouble or something, you get fired. So now you may be a year in and you've already had 2 trucking jobs. Okay? Not cool. Not cool. So, it's not adding up. So now you may be a year in within your first year or a year and a half, not even a whole 2 years. Let's just say you're on your 3rd trucking job. Okay. Well, guess what? Being that you're on your 3rd trucking job, after you actually get your experience, some of the better companies and better paying companies or whatever, they're going to look at you with their side eye. Like a legit side eye. They're going to look at you like that, because they're going to say, okay, what does this person got going on? It's like they can't hold a job down, This is the 3rd trucking company in a year, 2 years, less than a year. So you want to be mindful of that. You can't just be out here, like I always say, you can't just be out here doing stuff for no reason. You have to move a certain way. Me, here at KLLM, everything was intentional. Me being here for the entire year, it was all intentional, because I wanted to give them the year that I said I would give them. Okay, I signed a contract saying, if I get my CDL for free, I drive here for a year. I did my year and some. So I got my full year of driving experience here at one company. Okay. Within that full year, I was running a lease, learning some of the ropes, learning some of the in and outs of being an owner operator. Getting myself in the mindset of what it feels like to be an owner operator. Knowing that I'm responsible for this truck, knowing that I'm responsible for my own income. I'm responsible for my home time, and it was big in helping me pretty much prepare myself for that next step. That's the way I looked at it. And KLLM, they allowed me to go into a lease straight out of training, and I already had a business mind, I guess you could say, because I already had a business going, and so I was already tracking toward the whole entrepreneur type pathway, I guess you could say. I was already there with it, but coming in a truck and being that I went ahead and jumped into a lease, it helped out. And over the course of that year, it allowed me to make enough money to where I could save, I could put back, I could pay my bills, I can do what I need to do. It wasn't easy, because mind you, my whole year of driving, I didn't have a television in my truck. I didn't spend the money to get a refrigerator. I didn't have a $400 or $500 truck GPS. I didn't have a CB radio. I didn't have any of that, because it would have been on me to cover those expenses. So I had to be very crafty. I had to be very disciplined. I had to be just smart about a lot of stuff I was doing, and I had to be very intentional about what I was doing while on the road and the decisions I was making while leasing this truck. So everything was all about trying to save money, and for the last year, that's what I've been doing. I've been saving, been building my first business. That business has picked up a little for me. A lot this year, actually. I'm in a position to where, I'm just ready to make bigger steps, pretty much. And I started out with $25 in my pocket, just like I said, I started with a clean slate. And remember, I wasn't broke now. I ain't gonna lie, I wasn't broke. And and I'm not gonna put it out there. I'm not gonna try to make it seem like this grand rags to riches story to where I started literally with nothing, and now I'm starting from the bottom, and now I'm here, all that. Now I ain't. I'm not gonna paint that picture, but in so many ways, the way I had it set up, it was almost as if I had nothing. It was almost as if I was broke. Basically, I'm gonna just say it like that. So I intentionally started off with much of nothing in my pocket. Could I have came to trucking school with, 500 or 1,000 in my pocket or something? Yeah, I could have. I probably could have, but that wasn't where I was, because that money was, let's just say that money already had a purpose, and that money was already put up, and that money was already where it needed to be. We'll say that. So I started with $25 in my pocket, cash money, $25. So fast forward, a year later, after making a lot of decisions. I've been making a lot of decisions. As a truck driver, you're going to make a lot of decisions every day. That's what you get paid to do. You get paid to make responsible decisions. Pretty much that's what it is. You have to be responsible. You have to make good decisions. So, the last year, I've been like a sponge. I've been researching so much. Because remember, I didn't have a television. I didn't have a video game in my truck. So all I could do was read and be on my cell phone. I'd be on my cell phone Googling things, looking up articles, talking to people. I just a sponge. I could talk to someone and I would pick them from information. Everyone I talk to, I pick them for information. If they're telling me something that I already know, guess what I do? I just listen anyway. I don't cut nobody out and say, oh, well, I already know that. You ain't got to tell me that. I don't do that, okay? Because no one likes to know it all. So if I'm talking to someone and I'm constantly telling them, oh, I know that, I don't want to hear that, I don't do that, because guess what? They may tell me the same information in a different way to make me catch something that I didn't catch or learn previously. You see? They may tell me the same information from a different perspective to make me grab something about the information or the topic that I didn't previously know. And people are a lot more open and willing to talk and share information with you when they know you're receptive and you want to learn and you want to hear information. It's not about them telling you something you may already know. It's about them being comfortable and opening up with you to just tell you stuff, in terms of trucking or whatever the topic is that you're talking about. So I always, and when I'm talking to people, I always let them know that I'm receptive. I'm listening. You can talk to me. Give me this information. Give me this knowledge. You may be telling me something that I already know, but I'm going to listen anyway, because eventually you just might tell me something I didn't know. It's my goal. Every time I talk to someone, it's my goal to learn something. Period. It's my goal to learn something. I could be the wisest and, most intelligent person there is. I don't care how smart I am or how much I know. Everyone I talk to, I try hard to learn something from them in some form or fashion, regardless of who they are. So I'm like a sponge. And for the last year, that's what I've been, a sponge. I've been taking in information and just learning. So I started getting my ducks in a row, I guess you could say, because I knew I wanted to be an owner-operator. A real owner-operator. Like I wanted my truck, a truck in my name. Not a truck in KLLM's name that they're leasing to me. A truck that's in my name, because the way I see it, if you got people out here making twice as much money as I'm making and we do the same thing, we're all driving trucks. We're all doing the same thing. But you mean to tell me the difference between you making, double my pay is the fact that you have a truck? You were bold enough or willing to go out and get your own equipment and take on their responsibility, So that's something I feel like I wanted to try, I wanted to get into. So I saved my money. I went, got my EIN set up and everything. I researched everything in terms of getting your own authority and all that. I'm waiting on that. I'm gonna do that. I'm waiting on that. Now you all may or may not remember, but I said in the video. Now bear with me now. Just stick with me. Don't stop watching. Just bear with me, y'all. I'm at 25 minutes. I said it's gonna be my longest video, but bear with me. So I got my EIN set up along the way. I got my business bank account set up along the way. I was very intentional about my driving habits. You know, staying safe, keeping my record clean. I was very meticulous with my. Let's see, hold on. With my paperwork and my filing system and how I did everything. So I knew I was getting the truck. Applied at Long Mountain back in May. Got approved. Boom. Got approved at a place in Texas called WTF also. But their payments were a little expensive. But they have like great warranty options. Great warranty options. I almost did it because their down payments are very affordable, but a lot comes with their package. They do have a balloon payment at the end. They all vary, but they have like a 2-year, 250,000 mile warranty that covers like a lot. It covers a lot. WTF wholesale truck finance. I almost went with them, but like I said, the payments were a little more than what I wanted. But I would do it, and I wouldn't say I wouldn't get a truck with them. I would, but it was just not quite what I wanted to do. So initially, I was going to get the truck and bring it on here at KLLM. You know, I would have made money. I'd have made, $1,800, $2,000 a week. I don't know, maybe. Did all my research, in terms of figuring out what I needed to do to bring it on here. So that's what I was planning on doing wholeheartedly, But I had some, like I said, due to some recent development, I had some things taking place in my personal life that made me realize, okay, I need more money and I have to have much more flexible home time. Without a doubt, without a doubt. I need better home time. I put my dues in. I've been out the last year, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks out, 3-4 days at home, 4 weeks out, come home for 2 days, go right back out. Now, mind you, I have a family, so the last year I've been sacrificing, you know what I'm saying? But it's guess what? It's been purpose in all of my actions. Everything has been intentional. So I decided to apply at Landstar. Yes, I decided to apply at Landstar, and I'm gonna have to call back. I'm gonna have to call them back. But I applied at Landstar. I stayed on them. Everybody said it takes like a month and a half for the application process. Persistence counts for a lot in life. Persistence and communication. It counts for a whole lot. Persistence and communication. So I communicated with them a lot, and it was intentional. I wanted them to know me. I wanted them to, when they see my number on ID, like, oh my God, it's this dude again. Like, where's his file? Let's get him out. Let's get him done. He's bugging up. So that's what that's what I wanted to do, and that's what I did. I bugged them. I wasn't rude. I called them, yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes sir, no sir, yes please, thank you. I was very, very respectful. And I was very pleasant and polite on the phone. I wanted to bug them, but I didn't want to make them dislike me. So I called a lot. I got all my things pushed through. I got everything done. Pretty much I had an approval within about 2.5 weeks. I pushed it. So yeah. So, I ended up turning my truck in at KLLM. Like I said, in large part, it was due to a recent development in my personal life. Something arrived to where I had to make a change sooner rather than later, like right now. It was kind of almost like an emergency situation. So, I did that, and I was on the fence. I was thinking about Schneider. I applied with Schneider Finance. But I didn't choose Schneider to be on the IC board because I need that flexibility. I didn't choose Schneider IC because I didn't want to be in competition with company trucks, you know. And I know they say all Landstar brokers got trucks. All that. Yeah, that's cool. That's fine. Yeah, they do. But you know, the way I know a couple people that got their leases terminated at Schneider for various things, and you know, they make you retest, take driving tests like every other year. You know, just different things like that. It just seemed like Schneider was just a tad bit more restrictive, just a tad bit. You know, I was real close to going to Schneider, really close. A big part of me really wanted to do Schneider, but from what I understand, it's a little harder bringing your own truck on with them. So I didn't necessarily want to go through Schneider Finance. And I just felt like Landstar would give me a little bit more freedom, you know, at the end of the day. You know, it's a little bit more work with Landstar, negotiating rates and whatnot, and, you know, calling brokers and things like that. Yeah, it's a little bit more work at Landstar, probably a little more meticulous, a little harder to, you know, plan yourself, but it can be done, you know. So yeah, so that's what I got going on. I'm in Tifton, Georgia right now. I caught a bus down here to Lone Mountain. My truck, I put my money down already. My truck is supposed to be ready to go, but they had to they didn't finish detailing it. They had a small repair they had to do on it before they sent it to me. So I'm in the hotel now, and I'm just waiting. I'm waiting on a call from them. It's 2:30 over here, but yeah. So I'm trying to go ahead and wrap up the loose ends on my truck. I'll make another video once I get there and, you know, show you all the truck and, you know, what's what and what not. But yeah, so that's what's going on. Nothing crazy happened. It's just I'm taking a step up to be an owner operator with my own truck in my name. And a year ago, you know, I was in training. Now, I'm not saying everybody needs to go out there and drive for a year and go buy a truck. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not. Because everyone's situation is not the same. Your situation may not be like mine. You know, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? You know, but where my mindset is in a place, most definitely in a place to where I think that's the best option for me. You know, so, yeah. But